Hey everyone, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you are having a great day, great night, wherever you are watching in from. Today I want to talk about the brand new Weiss cryptocurrency ratings that just came out. And we'll look at some of the surprises in there, some of the not so big surprises, and whether or not you believe in the actual validity of these cryptocurrency ratings. It's still another interesting piece of information that you can look to help make decisions and or confirm your biases or anything like that at all. So we'll hop into some of the different surprises in the cryptocurrency ratings and some other things that we can gain from these Weiss crypto grades that they put out. In addition to that, I wanted to let you know that I will be doing a YouTube Live Crypto Happy Hour this evening at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have a special guest for that. It'll be the CEO of Polyswarm, Steve Bossi. So should be awesome to have him join Crypto Happy Hour for the first portion of it tonight to talk a little bit about his background in crypto. He's been in very, very early. I had a chance to talk to him about his pretty interesting, unique background in the project that he has coming up. So that should be a fantastic episode. And also a quick shout out to the guys from Crypto Street Podcast. I had a chance to talk to them last night on Google Hangout for quite a while. They're awesome. If you don't listen or subscribe to their podcast, if you're on iTunes or whatever else you listen to for a podcast, I highly recommend you do so. Interview was awesome. Had a great time speaking to them. The only problem, this guy forgot to press the record button, so we might have to do that interview again. So, yeah, I'm an idiot. But quick shout out to those guys from Crypto Street Podcast because they are awesome. Really enjoyed the conversation. Would definitely recommend that you subscribe to their channel, and hopefully we'll have a re-recorded episode of that in the near future. But let's get into the meat of the episode today where we talk about the new Weiss cryptocurrency ratings as well as some updates to my portfolio. Let's hop into it. So hopping into a quick overview of what actually is Weiss Ratings. So they're an independent ratings agency. Typically they focus on financial institutions, financial instruments, and they have decided to now focus on cryptocurrency or open up the analysis of cryptocurrency. Now, to my knowledge, this is the first time that a quote-unquote ratings agency or traditional financial ratings agency is going into cryptocurrency. There could be a variety of reasons for that, but when it comes down to it too, cryptocurrencies are hot right now. Any cryptocurrency-related product is making money, and anybody that has exposure to cryptocurrency is going to increase their exposure in general. So just keep all of that in mind as we get into that. This is an article from NASDAQ, and one of the founders, so the founder of Weiss Ratings, Martin Weiss, said many cryptocurrencies are murky, overhyped, and vulnerable to crashes. The market desperately needs the clarity that only robust, impartial ratings can provide. So Weiss Ratings is supposed to be providing impartial cryptocurrency ratings and information that will help inform and educate investors. Now, I've looked around on Reddit and some other places that have said, and who knows if this is correct or not, but that Weiss has been in trouble in the past for being essentially an untrustworthy source. They have had some level of suspension. They've had financial fines, yada, yada, yada. So with everything, take this with a grain of salt. And again, I have not created these ratings, so don't crucify me if you don't like the ratings. But let's hop into what the ratings are actually about and everything there. So Weiss, like I said, they rated, and this just came out today, January 24th, they rated cryptocurrency on the basis of A, excellent, B, good, C, fair, D, weak, or E, very weak. And as you look through this is, again, supposed to be independent, unbiased, accurate, and trusted. There are no A's. So Weiss Ratings has determined that there is not a cryptocurrency that is currently excellent according to Weiss. And as far as the specific criteria that were utilized to create this ratings compilation, I haven't seen that yet either. So I'm not sure if that's something that individuals are supposed to be paying for, the data behind why they think one cryptocurrency is better than the other, or why they associate a specific rating to a cryptocurrency. One thing to note is that the actual website for Weiss has crashed, I think. So if you try to go to Weiss right now, I'll pull this up on the screen, but if you try to go to Weiss right now, you literally can't get on the website. I'm not sure if that's crashed because of traffic on that's happened with a lot of other cryptocurrency releases where they release some type of information about crypto. It crashed the CME Group website. It crashed a lot of other websites. So that might have something to do with it. And it's kind of funny that that is the level of traffic that cryptocurrency brings. So number one, right now, the Weiss ratings website is down. So I can't even see the specific criteria. However, I will link to the portfolio below. The portfolio is a static PDF that is available to be seen. So let's hop into it. There are actually a pretty decent number of cryptocurrencies that are rated here. There's two and a half full pages of crypto that they have rated. A couple things that stuck out to me off the top. So Weiss seems to definitely have a preference for platform plays. If we look at the ratings, the highest rated cryptocurrencies are the only two Bs are EOS and Ethereum. So 2 platform plays. Cardano has a B minus, as does Neo. So EOS and Ethereum have Bs. The 2 highest grades, Cardano and Neo, have B minuses, ranked 3 and 4 respectively, or tied for third. And then you have Steam, which is not necessarily a platform play, but Steam has a B minus. So Steam is a B minus, as is Cardano, as is Neo, and then the 2 top-rated cryptocurrencies are EOS and Ethereum, which is pretty ballsy on their end. You might be saying, "Hey, where's Bitcoin? Where is Litecoin?" Well, if we go up to the top of this list, Bitcoin is actually a C+, as is Litecoin. And everyone's favorite Bitcoin Cash is actually a C-. So I don't know if Roger Ver and Jihan Wu and all the Bitcoin Cash homeboys out there are going to be too happy about that one if you're a Bitcoin Cash fan, but something to consider. And I don't know if the Bitcoin Maximalist, and again, my largest holding is in Bitcoin. I don't know what necessarily criteria they utilize to say that Bitcoin is a C+ from a cryptocurrency rating. Perhaps that has to do with the fees. Perhaps that has to do with the speed of the network. But probably anger a lot of people with something like that. Now, the fact that, in addition to that, the fact that something like Bitcoin is comparable to Byteball Bytes or to Dash or to some of the other C pluses out there, that's fairly interesting. And the fact that Dogecoin is rated above Bitcoin Cash, there are some interesting rankings for sure. In addition to that, so a couple of the notable things here, like I said, Bitcoin being a C plus, being ranked below Cardano, Neo, EOS, Ethereum, and Steam it, which is pretty crazy, or and Steam, Bitcoin Cash being that C minus. The privacy coins aren't performing too well in this either. So if you go down to see Monero, Monero is actually a C. So Monero is a C. Navcoin, which is not the biggest privacy coin, but Navcoin is a C. Zcash as well is actually a C there too. So if you go all the way down here to see Zcash and Zcoin, both are C's. So the privacy coins, apparently there's not too much interest in privacy coins, and the fact that Verge and Monero Monero and Zcash are ranked equivalent to Verge, that's pretty interesting. And also Stellar too. You see Stellar and Stratus there, both pretty interesting platform plays, neither of which are ranked to the level that EOS or Neo or Cardano are. So there's probably a lot of arguments that this is going to bring forth. There are definitely a lot of arguments that this is going to bring forth. And then too, from the perspective of Ripple, everybody's favorite XRP, hashtag the standard, XRP the standard, Ripple is a C. So Bitcoin, while ranked above Ripple, Ripple is ranked in the same range as Dogecoin, as well as Monero, as well as Stellar, as well as Stratus. So I'd love to get more clarity from the individuals as far as why they rated these cryptocurrencies, the letters that they did. I get the platform plays for sure. I do like EOS. I do like Ethereum. I do like Cardano. I do like Neo. And I do like Steam. I do use Steam. However, I don't know if something like Steam or any of those others is perhaps quote unquote a better cryptocurrency than Bitcoin for the time being, maybe technically speaking, but from an investment standpoint, I'm not exactly sure. So I would love to hear your thoughts after you go through this. What is like, if you could comment in the YouTube comments below if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening on the podcast, shoot me a tweet at crypto_Bobby. Shoot me a tweet there and let me know your thoughts as far as what is the biggest surprise for you and what is your biggest disappointment. So let's say your biggest surprise was, wow, I have money in Steam. Steam's a B-. That's my biggest surprise. My biggest disappointment is the fact that maybe I'm a big Roblox fan and I see XRB is ranked a C. So I'm disappointed in that. Would love to hear your biggest surprise, your happiest surprise, and your biggest disappointment when it comes to these Weiss ratings, and any other comments that you have in regards to this. So this is, again, like I said, this is just one ratings agency. I'm sure there are others that are going to pop up. As you can see with the website, there is a ton of traffic. There's a ton of interest. Basically, anything that has anything to do with cryptocurrency now is going to make money. It's going to drive views. It's going to drive business. So keep that in mind as you look at this, that maybe Weiss is extremely intellectual when it comes to cryptocurrency. Maybe they have no idea what they're talking about. I haven't gotten a great feel for that. These ratings were just released today, and I'd really like more clarity on it, but I think it's an interesting talking point regardless. So outside of the Weiss ratings, I think I'd like to take a second here to also talk just about my updated portfolio. I shared it last night on Twitter, and I got a bunch of questions, so let's hop into that too. So I'm here on my website right now. If you want to check it out, I'll put a link to the description below as well. And again, when I share my portfolio, it is specifically for transparency purposes. This is not financial advice. I do not advocate for you to put money in any cryptocurrency that I do solely because I put money into a cryptocurrency. I have been very wrong before. I have been very right before. I have been everywhere in between. So when you look at this is solely just for transparency purposes and to show you kind of my thoughts, where my head's at, and things of that nature. But as I went down and I put this together, so I updated this again yesterday, January 23rd, and I looked at this and I was looking in my Delta app and I was like, wow, I'm probably more spread out than I really want to be. And I've held on to some positions for a long time that for the most part I really haven't added to, but I've kind of held on to them for quite some time. And some have done really well, and some have just been stagnant for quite some time. And I'm looking at them, and I'm trying to make decisions now as far as where should I consolidate, as well as what is the opportunity cost for hanging on to some of these cryptocurrencies. So I do believe that ICOs are now again coming up into a hot period, and I am looking to participate in some new ICOs. So and have started that process with some of my friends who have good connections in different ICOs and have syndicates and things like that, blah, blah, blah. But I'm looking at the opportunity cost of what is the opportunity cost for holding on to some of these cryptocurrencies versus perhaps participating in an ICO or doing anything else, whether that might be, hey, I think this cryptocurrency can 3 or 4x, or maybe, hey, this ICO might be able to 5 or 10x or something of that nature. So that's kind of what I'm looking at now, but I wanted to update this portfolio. And again, like I said, I have 14 cryptocurrencies in here right now. If you go to the website, a lot of people are like, hey, you sold ELF. No, I actually didn't. You just press this little button here, and there's 4 other cryptocurrencies that I did have that I added later on. The only 2 really new entrants to my portfolio that I have right now is Nebulous, NAS, and QuantStamp. I like Nebulous a lot. I got in, I don't want to say fairly late. I did not get in on the ICO. I bought it on Huobi, so I bought Nebulous on Huobi, but I like Nebulous quite a bit. And QuantStamp is another one that I bought on this recent dip where QuantStamp kind of sold off with the rest of the market. I really do like what QuantStamp is doing. And when I was in Miami, I heard a lot of different projects talking about potentially working with QuantStamp. So I think that they might have some nice partnerships coming up in the near future. Potentially, it sounds like. So if they, increase the number of ICOs that they're working with or different projects and increase their experience there in the smart contract auditing space, that could be a really nice play. And I think that could drive the QuantStamp valuation up quite a bit. But outside of that, the rest of my portfolio is basically the exact same. But what I am looking at, like I said, is the opportunity cost. If I have 14 cryptocurrencies, which is admittedly a lot, I've told you guys before, I typically like to have between 5 and 10 just because my mind starts to get a little bit crazy and fizzled out when I have too many cryptocurrencies, and right now is one of those points. Also, in addition to that, this is the fiat percentage value. So some of you might look at this and be like, hey, did you sell a bunch of Cardano? I did, like I said before, the last time I updated my portfolio, I did take profits, my initial investment, and a little bit of profit out, but the fiat value of Cardano is also about half of what it was previously. So where I used to have about 15% of my portfolio from a fiat percentage into Cardano, that's now about 7.5%, logically speaking. And I also have something like VeChain that's gone through the roof, which was previously about 7%, maybe 6% of my portfolio. Now it's about 15%. And also 0x, which has continued to moon. That's gone from about 5, 6, 7% of my portfolio all the way up to about 15% because I haven't taken out the initial investment or the profits on that. So I'm still working on kind of figuring out the exact formulas that I want to use to leverage on that. But again, for transparency purposes, this is where my head is at. So you can see my biases and you can understand. And again, like I always say, I can't own every cryptocurrency out there. So when I hear why NEO, why EOS, why Ripple, why Litecoin, I can't own everything. And some things I'm just more interested in owning than others. And I also look at the opportunity cost of what I have this money working. What do I think could potentially come of this versus what could potentially come of working my money somewhere else? And I've started to measure that more and more and more often because I think opportunity cost in the cryptocurrency is a massive, massive importance. But outside of that, like I said, tonight at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be speaking with Steve Bassi from Polyswarm. I'm excited for that. I had a chance to talk to him in person a few different times at the Bitcoin Miami conference. He was a very, very, very sharp dude. Really liked what he had to say, so that should be fun. Also, like I said, the Crypto Street podcast, we should hopefully be getting that re-recorded. And again, I'm an idiot for not hitting the record button. But I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you are new to the channel, by any chance, hit the subscribe button, the notify bell. If you are listening on the podcast, I would really, really appreciate a rating and a review on the podcast. That would tremendously help me out in terms of helping to spread the podcast a little bit more on iTunes or wherever else you might be listening. So thank you so much for your time. Crypto Bobby signing out. I hope you have a fantastic day or night wherever you're watching in from. Take it easy. Peace.